Greetings, humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our short campaign of Blades in the Dark. This is a fantasy game by John Harper about a crew of shady characters operating in a haunted industrial-era city that sits under a blanket of perpetual night. We're going to go ahead and go around, say hi to everyone, find out who they are and who they're playing, starting once again with Speedy. Hello.
Hello, I am Speedy, and I am playing as our Lurk, Grift, who has a very dangerous dark knife that has now been used to kill a priest.
I'm sure it's fine.
And it's a part of me.
Yeah. It's there's got to be a metaphor for something buried in there somewhere. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But we're gonna go ahead and now head over to Noctua. Hello.
Hello. I'm Noctua. Today I am playing Weaver, who is the spider.
Excellent. For some reason, I don't know why it took me by surprise. Even this has been your playbook since the beginning, but in my brain, I heard the word spider. Like, what's happening? Very cool. And I am discombobulated this evening. Can we tell? But now let us head over to Hollow. Hello.
Hello, I'm Hollow. I am use he and pronouns, and I am playing Thistle, the cutter.
Excellent. Bringer of harm. And now, before we jump in, as a reminder, that you may see us use safety tools from time to time. Like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. Just a few content warnings. As a reminder, this game may contain references to violence, darkness, law enforcement, crime, betrayal, deceit, and the supernatural. And if you want to see that at any time, you can type, it's already popping up in chat there, but you can type !Blades CW. And that will show up. And as you can see, it is also going on rotation. So that will be in there periodically. Also, finally, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. And so now I shall hand things over to our illustrious GM, Brian. Hello.
Hello. Hey, how's it going? I'm Brian. I use he/him pronouns, and we are starting a downtime session after a really eventful score. So have a feeling stuff's gonna happen. So the first thing we need to do is the payoff, and we can play the scene, actually meet them and get the stuff, but it's going to end up being 8 coins, or 8 coin, I think is the best term. I have marked that in the notes section of the crew sheet because you already have 4 coin. So right now you have, as a crew, a total of 12 coin that you can do stuff with. And keep in mind, you can only keep 4 of it because you don't have a vault yet. However, we will get to this in a minute because as a crew, you did advance, which means that at some point during the session, we'll need to discuss what your advance is. So as a reminder, every time you advance. Oh, another thing I need to do with your characters, but we'll get back to that. Every time you advance, you either get one new special ability for the crew or two squares filled in on the upgrades section. And so if you have any questions about that, we'll come around and discuss that momentarily. The other thing we need to talk about is heat. And yeah, there's some heat on this one. So
The heat.
base heat on this is 4. Because 4 heat is described as loud and chaotic, high exposure. Believe it or not, you haven't managed to even with everything that happened, you didn't spill into the 6 heat one, which is wild and devastating exposure. But I think loud and chaotic pretty much describes what you guys did. So okay, we start off with 4 heat. We add +1 heat because it was a high profile target, quite high profile. Also, there's so many witnesses at this particular one. So we're up to 5 heat. One of the Devil's Bargains picked up another heat, so we're at 6. But I think that's it. I think we're only at 6 heat. I don't see anything else that's. You were not on hostile turf because even though you were in a chapel, the section of town you were in was not hostile turf. In fact, Dunslow is probably fairly friendly as far as that goes, even now. You weren't at war with anyone. And here's the other thing. You do add 2 heat if killing was involved, but it turns out that the bells only ring when humans are killed. So, as it happens, you don't get the extra heat for that particular death.
I'm sorry? See, guys, it was totally fine that I killed.
Yeah,
that guy.
absolutely. In the heat of the moment, it's possible that none of you noticed that the bells didn't ring, but the bells did not ring.
Well, great.
Oh boy.
Now, this is not to say. Oh, and now that I think about it, actually, there were not many witnesses when that happened. You were in the small room, and most of the witnesses were like in your crew or about to get killed. So now that I think about it, yeah, we don't really even have any witnesses to the killing. Well, we do have some, but not enough to.
So
raise the
the
heat.
body exploding didn't kill anyone secondarily.
Actually, it did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the guards was really close and did not make it out for exactly that reason. So I will add 6 heat to your character sheet, and it's 0 heat though. So because you guys have been incredibly good about taking the heat off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure I got that right. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay. So now you're at 6 heat, which, by the way, does not 3 more heat, and you'll have a wanted marker. But right now you're only at 6. Only at 6. All right. So that is heat and payoff. What else do we do? No one's in jail. Oh, entanglements. That's what it is. And because of your particular. Because of one of your special abilities, we roll entanglements. All right, so yeah, okay. So because you're still not wanted, I'm still rolling 2 dice and taking the lower option. But I'm gonna make 2 rolls. However, this is the first time you've had like heat at 6 or more, which means you've got a new array of things that you can end up with. So let me get that roll happening really quick, and you can, or unless I do what I did last time and make exactly the same roll twice, in which case you don't have a choice. But I like it when you have a choice. Let's see if we can actually make that happen this time. All right, so I'm going to do this as a fortune roll. So we do 2 dice. Okay. All right, so that's a 1, and let's do the next one.
We'll take the 1.
Well, we'll see what the next one is, but yeah, you probably will. Okay, so your choices are 1 or 4. Let's look in the book real quick. Yeah, flipped or interrogation, or demonic notice or show of force. I will point out you've already got demonic notice thanks to one of the devil's bargains.
Great.
This doesn't mean you can't pick up more demonic notice, but let me read to you what exactly those options mean. So, flipped or interrogation is one of the PC's rivals arranges for one of your contacts, patrons, clients, or a group of your customers to switch allegiances due to the heat on you, and they are loyal to another faction now. So that's not something that you can like do anything about. That's just a thing that happens. Is they just switch to another one. What is interrogation? The Bluecoats round up one of the PCs to question them about the crew's crimes. And you either pay them off with 3 coin, or they beat you up and you get level 2 harm. And then you tell them what they want to know, and you get 3 more heat. So you could resist each of those consequences separately. However, I will point out you have a crap load of coin right now, so that's not a bad idea. But let's definitely see what demonic notice is. A demon crew with a dark offer: accept their bargain, hide until it loses interest, which means you lose 3 rep, or deal with it another way. So those are your options.
I mean, I have to be at least a little interested in demonic notice.
That is a fair point.
The easiest one of these to solve would be interrogation, but
It would
the
be,
most
and you-
interesting is
yeah.
demonic notice.
That is true. I mean, I agree on both of those points.
I feel like Weaver has seen more of demons than she ever wanted to. She's like, okay, bribe the Bluecoats. I can do that. I can bribe Bluecoats. This I
give
understand.
money to,
Yeah. Demons? Really? More demons? So she's definitely going more of the, let's just pay off the cops. It's easier.
And I like the idea that because this is like, because you're getting to make the choice in character, technically you're getting to make the choice. You're slippery. You can just go, whoop, nope, and then as a crew, you're so slippery. Somehow you might like just not be there when the demon shows up. Like, oh man. So I'm not.
Were you about to say something, Hollow?
Nope.
I
was
said
like,
bye.
I said bye.
Oh,
bye,
I thought you said
Oh,
and
I
you were
also
about to
thought
say,
that.
like,
I got-
what
Yeah,
you
I was like,
thought.
I also am like, what do I want to do? Man, like demonic influence sounds real interesting. Only because I'm pretty sure we just stabbed one.
Yeah.
I would also be curious about the idea about the demon just approaching one of us.
just one, and hello.
Probably not the guy with the knife who killed him. Like
Greg.
whoa.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
nominate
God.
Greg.
That's
Poor
how you
Greg.
managed to slip out of it.
What if Greg flipped on us?
Oh man.
Oh,
no.
Jesus.
Not Greg. Et tu, Greg. We don't need that.
Is Greg okay?
Is
Does Greg want to be okay?
That is a good question.
I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I'm because I just want to make sure I grasped what we're talking about. We have a choice between either paying off the cops or a demon coming to us and coming to one of us and offering a thing.
Right. Or actually, one of your contacts, patrons, clients, or a group of your customers has switched alliances, which means they're loyal to a different faction now. It doesn't even have to be a faction that you are, you know,
With
yeah, or
opposed
hostile
to.
to. Oh, I do need to some other things that have like some of your relationships have flipped around, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm.
I will tell you, believe it or not, you're still not at war with the church, but
Somehow.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. Well,
Feels
because
like we should be.
you were only at -1 with the church, so so hang on. Although I will, if we were going to have like more than just one more job coming up, that might affect your decision. It would mine, because some of these would definitely be cool things to try to figure out in the future, but not
Sure.
necessarily, not necessarily with one more job coming up. And after what we talked about, we sort of know what the last job's going to be. We know one of the things the last job's going to involve. So doesn't mean demons can't be involved in that too. Nothing wrong with that. We could definitely have the demon, like, be part of this and lead you into the other job. Oh, in fact, I just figured out how. So yeah, if you want, if you want that, that is definitely a thing we can do. Yep. So we're okay either way.
Would you like a demon?
Hey, yeah,
I mean-
Brian, what do you want?
I'm fine either way. I'm serious.
Let me ask you something. Just to be clear, there was a devil's bargain made that suggested that there would be demon attention. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this was for Grift. One of the ones that Grift one of Grift's involvements with the Preceptor. One of the ones that they took was that no matter what happens, other beings of that type are going to be interested in Grift now. So that's gonna happen anyway. But
yeah, so I mean, then there's just a question of so really what we're asking is, do we want 2 demon visitations, or do we want
fair point? Yeah,
like a payoff and a demon visitation? Because
Yeah, I mean, I feel like given the amount of time we have left to get good story in, I
that's
think
true.
I'm leaning more towards the interrogation.
Okay, and yeah, that makes sense to me too. Do you want me to just knock 3 coin off?
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
I'll
Pay
just
him
do it
off.
that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll work.
All right.
Yeah.
Because again, you got a lot of coin off this job. Whoops, I did it wrong though. There we go. So now we're looking at.
And-
you still have 9 coin.
and I kind of
So-
like it this way better, because now we don't even know what we don't. The demon visitation is now in a grayer space where it's not
Yeah,
necessarily definitely
it'll-
one of the 3 things.
it will probably show up sometime during that last score.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, I will have failed, and we don't want to. All right. So okay, so that's it for entanglements. Now we're into downtime activities, and so. Oh, before we get to downtime activities, though, sorry about that. Hang on. Although, by all means, contemplate your downtime activities, and I will get back to you on the specifics on that in a minute. But I need to make some faction adjustments here.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, the church. You are now at -2, whereas you were at -1 before. The where is it? Fringe? Yeah, it's Fringe, isn't it? Yeah. You are now at +1 with the Reconciled, which is that group of ghosts that haven't gone feral.
Ghost friends.
Yay!
Yeah, I need to look them up. I can't remember what their tier is. I'll check. But right now you're at +1 with them. And I'll fill that one in a minute. Let's see. The Hive is currently unchanged because they weren't involved in this one. They still like you. Similarly, Circle of the Flame, City Council, and Foundation is still at -2. So you're at -2 with Church of Ecstasy and the Foundation. You are you could see war from here with both of those, but you're not at war yet. And then you've got the Reconciled, City Council, Circle of Flame, and the Hive that still like you.
See, now I'm very curious. Like, Weaver can see war on the horizon with 2 different factions.
Yep.
Can I make them fight each other while we just slip out the middle?
I mean, that is, yes, that is definitely a thing that's possible. That is something that I would classify as a long-term project, which means we probably don't have time for it in this particular campaign, but I would love to see that. That would be so cool.
I feel like that's a very spider thing. It's just like,
that's great. Yeah. Well, and given that it's the foundation of the church, that's not out of the realm of possibility. I can see them definitely, especially if you threw the right, inciting incidents at both of them. I think that would work really well. All right, so I'll get the rest of this filled in. Does anybody have anything else to do, or does anyone want to throw out a downtime activity? And as a reminder, each of you gets 2, but thanks to Weaver, there is an extra one floating around that you can take without having to pay extra. And then I think, I forgot to bump up your rep. I'll do that in a minute. And then you can pay coin or rep in order to get more of them. But yeah, let me do that rep real quick. I'll let you know what your boost is. And while I'm looking that up, if you want to figure out what you're doing on the rest of it.
I know I'm going to be indulging my vice.
Yeah, you racked up a significant amount of stress on that one. Not as much as Thistle, but Thistle's cleared. Oh, Thistle, we need to get your trauma figured out too.
Yes.
Do you know the trauma? Look those up.
I can go look those up again really quick.
Here we go. Got the rep. Okay. All right, you get 2 by default. You get another one if it's higher tier. You did not keep it quiet. In this case, that's good, because that's good. This doesn't reduce your rep. I think it's going to be 4 rep, though. Let me get over to your sheet. Where's the rep? Here's the rep. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, you are just about to. You are. Yeah, you're 1 rep away from being able to possibly bump your tier up. But that's something that will. It also takes. Oh, actually, though, no, it doesn't even take that much coin to go from 0 to 1, which is great. So if you wanted to, we can talk about that at the end of the score when you get some more coin, and undoubtedly at least 2 rep out of that. All right, so now we're done with all of that stuff. So yeah, Grift. Clearly, there's going to be at least 1 indulging vice. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I just mark a trauma condition, and then it's permanent, and I have to role play that for the rest of forever for this session.
But you get XP. It's an XP generator. So if and that's one of the things I do like about this, though, is you can play it as much or as little as you want. And have you decided what that trauma is going to be?
I'm not sure. I'm torn between soft, vicious, and obsessed.
All of those make sense given the circumstances. Yeah.
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 I feel like you're already decently vicious.
Yeah, true.
Where are the trauma rules? I want to look that up.
I can find it. Oh, actually, if you could find them on Roll20 in the library section or the compendium section.
Yeah, bladesinthedark.com actually just has it all there too.
But also there, and also if you have the book, I can point you towards. I don't think any of the things on the Google Drive have it. There we go. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
That's probably the best way to do it, is just follow that link. Thanks, Hollow.
Yep.
All right. All right. So, Grift, the good news is that Connie's still around. So speaking of indulging your vice. So, are you,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I will go find Connie looking a little bit battered, bruised, worse for the wear.
there we go. All right.
All right, so I cleared 4 stress.
Not bad. Okay. All right. Do you want to do that again? Actually, you do risk overindulging if you do it from there, but so maybe not. Yeah.
I'll stick with my 4.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any downtime stuff?
Yeah, I think Weaver is also going to indulge Vice because she's at all stress.
Oh, that's right. You also
Yeah.
piled it
Oh,
on.
you
didn't
also
you?
take a trauma, don't you?
No,
Isn't
I
that-
stopped just short of
Oh,
trauma.
okay.
Exactly right.
I am stressed but not traumatized.
Okay, fair enough.
How do I roll this? Oh, there's a button. Okay.
Isn't that great?
Are there bonus dice for this roll?
Not really.
Not usually.
Yeah, it's just whatever your because what it'll do is it's going to take your lowest skill, or not skill, sorry, your lowest attribute, and then you will just clear an amount of stress equal to the highest die that you roll, unless of course you have a 0 in any of the attributes. Do you? Let me see. Hang on.
Just if you just click the indulge device button and
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll
Then it'll explain
it'll
it.
fill it in.
Okay. So I rolled 1 die. All right.
Yeah, that's it. So you cleared 5.
Nice. Okay.
Not bad. All right. So, all right. So that's 2 downtime actions down. What stress? How much stress does that leave you with, Weaver?
She still has 4.
Okay, so same as Grift. And so you could do it again, but at that point you risk overindulging because if you clear more than you have,
Yeah.
then you have to go into that into that little mini game to see how that pays off. All right. Thistle and Sharky, any ideas?
Well, I think that when you come back from trauma, you don't have any stress.
Right.
But so yeah, you don't have any stress when you come back from trauma. So I don't have to indulge my vice, but I am going to at least hang out with Weaver.
Oh yeah.
As a not using my downtime, just like companionably being around.
Right. Yeah. Nothing that requires a roll. You're just doing some
Yeah.
stuff. All right.
Yeah. We're gonna get our hair done because Weaver's hair just went poof.
I think that definitely needs to be part of the situation. What else we got here? Let's see.
I think that this one's going to do his usual and lower the heat. It just gets really weird because he's really hesitant to leave Weaver by herself.
Oh yeah.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Right back. Yeah, it's like he's very reluctant to even leave to go do anything. He's like, just gonna go do it.
Oh, he's so cute.
All right. Hang tight. Let me get over here real quick. Here we go. Oh, I know what we're doing. Hang tight. 145. All right. All right. So yeah, we'll do some reduce heat. Here we go. And yeah, so how are you doing the heat reduction?
Let's see here. This time, heat reduction is actually doing a lot of prowling around, seeing who has a bead on what's true and what's not.
Okay. Oh, good idea. Yeah. And then figuring out like who knows what and how much they might be talking.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I guess make a prowl roll then, and that is over here. There we go.
I guess I'll just refresh the page and it should. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so that's a 5, and that means you have cleared 2 heat. So I will take care of that. I'll get that off the sheet real quick. Now you're down to 4 heat. All right. Are you satisfied with that, or and by you I mean the crew? If anyone else wishes to reduce heat too, but also Thistle specifically.
Thistle is going to also train. Like,
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is like I fucked up. I must have fucked up.
You know what? Fair enough. I like that. I like that motivation. So are you doing prowess training? Because if you're doing prowess training, you get extra, remember, because of your
right. And we also got XP from the thing, so I could ding, technically.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just bump my prowess. Yay.
Okay.
Bump my prowl.
Oh, nice.
Very, 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 very sneaky, very, very hurty man.
That is a devastating combination. Okay, so those are your 2 base downtime actions anyway, and we could add some more later if you want. We haven't heard from the professor yet. Have you decided what Sharky's up to?
Yeah, there are a few things going on that we need to deal with.
Okay.
So I'm gonna presume that first of all, let me just double check. Am I good? Do I have is my all my damage and trauma and all, and my damage and stress and all that cleared?
Yeah, given the circumstances under which you left and how long you've been out, yeah, your both damage and stress tracks are clear.
Excellent. So the next order of business. The completion of the device is the thing. Has that been taken care of, or do I need to do more with that?
No, we just we talked about that before. We assumed that while you were gone, that was the rest of your sort of off-screen downtime actions. So
Okay.
yeah, you've got that.
Excellent. Okay. There are certain properties I want. I'm hoping for it to have.
Okay.
But we'll get into that when we get into that.
Okay.
There are a couple of things that the professor is going to need to deal with. One in particular, I need to know whether this is a thing we're dealing with right now or not. Has the professor had a new friend following him?
The professor has definitely during his sojourn has at first it was just like, corner of your eye, no, it can't be sort of thing. But then yeah, it was definitely showing up. The hole was definitely showing up at places that you were.
So one thing that kind of, and I don't know how this counts for what, but this would be as far as downtime actions go, but he kind of needs to make friends with that being so that it does not kill him.
Um, that's okay. Yes, that's not a problem, and it's already reasonably well disposed towards you. So I mean, it's
That's
sort of
cool.
bonded with you. So I wouldn't. I would basically call that just a downtime action, not
Cool.
something that you would either have to roll for, or it's not a long-term project, really. It I think we're just
Yeah.
going to call it a project, and one that you can complete with a single downtime action. But
Excellent.
I'm interested to hear what the professor does in order to make sure that it's friends with him.
Yeah, so I mean, he's been working on building a robot body
Right.
for someone already,
Yep.
and sort of dealing with this sort of thing. And so, seeing this other being whose sentience somewhat he is responsible for, although unwittingly, he is now just basically going to try to. He's going to try to. This is one of those things where it's like at first they're sort of a distant. And he's like, and he's trying to think, okay, what would a Hull want? What would a Hull need? Let's assume
Yeah.
for a moment, once he's sort of figuring out that a Hull, and so, it's going to be a thing where. I think acknowledgement, among other things, is kind of one of the things that it wants. So it's going to take a thing
Okay.
where he's just going to start sitting out and, when he thinks it's nearby, sitting and reading out loud.
Okay.
He's going to read to
I
it,
like that. Nice.
basically.
Okay.
Out of whatever books he might have handy, and just to try to. Just basically ask, and then slowly just sort of ask it if it needs anything, if it wants anything, and we'll be like, "Would you like me to help fix that shoulder for you? I see you had quite
Nice.
I see you had quite an adventure." And just kind of and so help fix it up if it needs fixing up
Sure.
after it got into that scrape.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
And just basically he'll just start hanging out with it and doing stuff.
Okay.
And if it becomes clear that it's not leaving him alone, he'll be like, okay, well, this will be, and he says he's building this other. You want to help?
Actually, yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
There are times when you need something to pick up heavy things. Yeah, that works.
And it's one
And maybe Thistle's not around, so you get the you get the whole to help.
It's one of those things. Also, I'm wondering, is this thing mute or does it speak?
It has not spoken yet.
Okay, so it's going to be one of those things where eventually I feel like after time passes, he's going to kind of almost he's just going to be talking to it about just sort of problems and issues, and he's like, I have to do something. I have to make sure that we're going to. It's something that I think I've just been afraid to deal with, and it's something that I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to have to deal with it because this is really, in many ways, my problem, and so it's something that you have to take care of people, and I have not been doing that very well, and I think I need to do that. Do you think? That's I think
the
I
Hull's
should.
a very good listener. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just sort of becomes this thing where we just sort of finish making this thing that the idea. This is, well, I won't go into it until I display this thing. I think it was when we start talking about it. So the things that I want the suit to hopefully do, we'll see. Part of that involves some research where he goes and he's kind of, since he can see ghosts now to an extent.
That's true.
Or at least things in the ghost field. Where he's kind of he'll kind of try to of any that he can't that he doesn't run away from. Then because a lot of them majority of them you run away, but any of them that he doesn't, he's going to try to sort of help to figure out how he can help him with in the completion of his device to try to
Okay.
sort of make it do the things that he's going to need it to be able to do.
Nice. Okay.
To help the ghost that enters it. So what we're gonna so that's the primary. The other downtime action involves acquiring an asset,
Oh, okay.
because once he finally is settled to the point, he's like, all right, you know what, I need to bring something back. I need to actually make this work. So he's going to try to acquire something that will give some kind of an edge against minions of the Shrouded Queen.
Fair enough.
And it
We
could
could
be
be vague about that unless
could
you have
be
a
an
specific
item.
idea. We
Yeah,
could be vague about it.
the only things I have in my head is that it could be it could be some sort of device that happens to deal with shrouds well, or beings that
Sure.
get summoned well, or it could be a book, or something. You know, the
Yeah.
the how to defend against the members of this cult book.
Fair enough.
And it could be any of these things.
Okay. I mean, seriously, yeah. If you wanna keep it vague until like it comes in handy, that just makes sense.
But
Both
yeah,
fictionally and mechanically. I think that's fine.
yeah. So my thought is that basically he should. I think it's this thing where he turned up to talk, to ask for a favor from his friends in the in the circle of the
Sure.
flame, and it probably didn't hurt that he had his buddy with him when he asked for this. He just sort of turns up. I need something that's going to deal with this.
I mean, that's a
Help
fair
with it.
point.
Yeah.
And Circle of Flame, I mean, you're at +2 with Circle of the Flame.
Yeah.
So that's good. They are, that is exactly the kind of, that's exactly the sort of help that they would provide.
Excellent.
Because again, they like you rather a lot, so that'll work just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically what his downtimes are going to look like.
All right. So those are your two. So we have what I think 2 of you still have 1 each, and then we've got the floating one. So Weaver, was that
Yeah, I know what I would do with my second one.
okay?
I'm going to try and reduce heat as well.
Oh, okay.
Probably in a different way Thistle goes about it. Weaver
Right.
would probably sway or finesse, either one.
Yeah, yeah. Whichever one you feel like makes more sense.
Sway, probably,
Yeah.
because her approach is mostly like talking to people and like she's really capitalizing on the whole like memories are fallible. And so like
Ooh,
eyewitnesses
nice.
are
Okay.
terrible. And so like someone's gonna remember, oh, that big guy ran across like right at the prospector. She's like, no, that can't be. I swear it was at least 2 guys. Well, there's no way one guy picked up the priest all by himself.
Yeah,
And like
come on.
bidding it so that as the game of telephone progresses, it sounds less and less like us.
Nice. Okay, I like that.
All right, let's do it. So to do this, I just roll sway like normal.
Right.
There we go.
And if it asks you for stuff, yeah, perfect. Okay,
Aw.
so not great. Let's
Aw.
see. I think you only clear 1, right? Yep, you only clear
Yeah.
1, but yeah, it's still 1.
What are we at total then?
You're now at 3.
Ooh, 3's the magic number. That
Also,
is
it occurs to
successful,
me.
right?
Well, it occurs to me we still have many coins if we want to burn. if we have to burn them on things, we can always do more.
You do.
Oh, that's true. Do you want to spend a coin and try to bring that down 1 more?
Oh, that is definitely an option. So that would move you from reducing it from that'd move it from like a 1 heat to 2 heat if you wanted to do it that way.
What do y'all think? If we get down below 3 heat, that means even if we do our next job big and noisy, we're unlikely to be wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have much else to spend money on, so why not?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
All right,
Yeah, you want to do that? Okay. I will take care of that. I will mark off 1 more coin, and then I will mark off 1 more heat. So now you're at 2 heat, and you have a total of 8 coin.
I feel like we've still got a lot of coin.
And yeah, and you've got 4 coin. Now keep in mind that you can also everybody because your crew advanced, everybody gets 2 stash. So go ahead and mark 2 stash for that
Oh, sweet.
onto your sheets. And you still need to pick your crew advance. So keep that in mind. All right, so Grift, you've still got a downtime action. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold off on that
Okay.
one until we learn more about how the
checks
score
out.
wrapped up and what we're gonna do next.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and for that matter, as a crew, you still got the floating downtime action from Weaver's special ability. So, do we want to talk about crew advancement, or do we want to lean towards the upcoming score?
I'm just gonna interject that that floating downtime action. Does anyone have anything that they want to do that they didn't get to do?
At this time, I don't. No.
Okay. So
And you can hang on to it as we've done before. You can hang on to it into the score. Just keep in mind that Grift has one specifically for Grift, and then there is another one that anyone can use. So, which anytime between now and then if you come up with something to do with it, that's great. If not, then you can always hold on to them. Those make, as we've learned, those make great flashbacks. Because you don't have to spend stress, generally speaking, if you can say, oh, when we were in downtime, here's what I actually did. And everyone remembers when I acquired that asset that I'm using now, right? It's you were all there. All right.
Yeah.
So in that case, and feel free to interrupt with anything, if anyone has any ideas about what you want to do for your crew advancement, that's cool. If not, I can tell you about some other things that are happening. And do you want to just go ahead and each take 1 coin for your personal character sheets? Because we got 4 coin and we got 4 players. If you just want to do that, because you can't keep it as a crew, you don't have a vault. So if everyone wants to just add 1 coin to your character sheet, I will remove it from the notes section over here.
Cool.
All right. All right.
We can probably try and bang out a crew advancement pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I don't know if anyone has anything that's catching their eye. I'm not crazy about any of the special abilities. I would maybe just lean towards like a thief rigging and maybe a quality documents or something.
thief rigging is awfully good.
Yeah, that seems right.
Oh, yeah, I like the defrigging.
All right. Well, thief rigging, yep.
Yeah. It's kind of like you could dress light and still have a normal load of gear. That sounds cool.
It is pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll mark thief rigging for sure.
I guess it's just for tools and gear are the only things that it can count towards, but
yeah, but I mean, if you can, I mean, that
counts for a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of things.
It's really broad.
And gear.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's a tool.
Pretty much.
A gun is just a tool.
Right, it is.
Exactly. A blade or two, definitely tools.
Definitely. Let's see. So that since you have picked an upgrade box, that just means you need to pick 1 more upgrade box.
Yeah, I would just say quality for one of those things, unless we want to
Yeah, bump up the quality. They basically just
a boat.
Ooh.
You could have a boat.
Do we have a preference over which quality?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, well, so you already have a fine cover identity, actually, which is the thing that documents are really good for.
That's true.
Yeah, that comes from being Spider.
Yeah.
Do we want like quality weapons? Does that make a difference?
It can, depending on what you're using the weapons against. And here's the thing: anything you pick, I'm just going to try to make sure you get a chance to use it. So,
yeah,
I'm not gonna.
It'll probably be an extra die or greater effect or something for whenever we. Yeah.
And also, as you're looking through the thing, just remind me that you have them if I seem to be forgetting, and just go. It says here that we've got a bonus of whatever.
Yeah.
And but yeah, exactly. It usually ends up being either an extra die or a higher effect, or sometimes it's the thing that allows you to take an action in the first place. Like sometimes you need a higher quality of a thing in order to simply attempt it. But like I said, whatever you choose, any of those things will, like, I'll just try to make sure that you get into a situation where it's likely to come in handy.
Yeah.
But also feel free to look for situations where it comes in handy. So that works fine too.
Okay. I kind of want to suggest quality gear because it's so broad that we can probably apply it.
Yeah.
Green climbing gear things, lockpicks, pry bar.
Yeah, I think that all checks out. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll mark gear then. All right, so you've got quality gear and thief rigging, which is going to be particularly interesting for Thistle. I'm just imagining Thistle with more stuff is. I know.
I mean, I feel like it's just like you've got more straps somewhere. Like you've got more places to hide stuff.
You've got like
More
the
pockets.
biggest cargo pants with all the pockets.
Jinko cargo pants.
That's it. That is exactly it. You've got
you've got a great axe just like in your leg.
Yeah, it's like that just keeps going.
It's like, where were you keeping that?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, keep in mind about the downtime actions that haven't been spent. If you come up with a thing to use them for, shout it out. If not a big deal. We'll just try to remember it for the score. So here, upon returning to Night Market, really, because that's your turf, you had already been hearing rumors about a cult that has been moving in on the Weeping Lady's operations. And the Weeping Lady is in fact a figure that is worshipped. There are statues of the Weeping Lady in several different parts of Night Market. She is sort of the unofficial patron of Night Market. And hang on, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Sorry, I got a weird notification on my.
Sorry, my Roll20 is doing something very strange.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Is it good?
Yeah. It's flashing black and white, which is very weird. It's like
mine looks fine. You want to close out and come back in and see if that fixes it?
Yeah. Reload.
All right. So Yeah, like I said, the Weeping Lady does a lot of good for the poor of Night Market. Other parts of Duskfall too, but they are most active in Night Market. And it is known as a place that no matter who you are, if you need food and shelter, the Order of the Weeping Lady will take you in and give you both of those things. So yeah, because they're really spread out, and because they are not a particularly militant organization, every now and then someone comes in and decides that they are going to mess with the Weeping Lady. Sometimes that does not turn out well at all, because Weeping Lady has friends, and the Weeping Lady has people that have been, like, when they were down in their luck, they were taken care of, and then they come back and are doing much better now, and they have other friends, and those friends have weapons, and they usually will help protect the Weeping Lady. But what's happening right now is a little more subtle. This cult is starting to set up shop in places that the Weeping Lady has been operating in, and not full on taking anything over, at least up until recently. So I will tell you, if you start looking into it, it doesn't take long to figure out which cult this is. Any guesses?
This is a Shrouded Queen.
But amazing, yeah, it totally is. So that's exactly who it is. And a lot of what they're doing, though, is they are taking up resources that the ladies people would be using to help other people. And so, but yeah, each of you has had some already has some knowledge about the Shrouded Queen, and so yeah, right off the bat, you figure out that they are definitely involved in this. The next thing you figure out is the Shrouded Queen's people are more numerous than you originally thought. Originally, it looked like a much smaller cult, but now they either they've grown recently or they were always bigger and are just starting to make themselves known.
Are they as big as the church?
Definitely not. Nothing close to the church. Yeah, it's not like that, but they are. But yeah, originally it looked like it might be a few people, and now it's like, 5 times a few people. It's one of those, but
Okay. It's not like they're cockroaches where you see one, there's like 100 that you don't see.
Yeah, although kinda. That's not a bad analogy. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know what to do with cockroaches.
Right.
Gonna wrap them up in my web and then suck them dry and leave their husks there?
Oh yeah.
Fuck, Weaver.
Actually, I should
The
leave
character
Weaver
is
alone.
called the Spider, y'all.
I know. Come on.
I know what you meant.
Well, yeah, we should. Actually, I should leave Weaver at the salon all by herself because.
Oh, I do need to find out. Do Weaver and Thistle come back with new hairstyles, or just a cleaned up version of what you normally have?
Weaver's definitely rocking a new hairstyle.
Okay, I had to know. All right.
Now that I think about it.
Let's see here. I think that Thistle will let Weaver pick.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, I think Weaver she picks something that is very tasteful but very practical. So like it's on thistle is short enough that like the hair can't be pulled and it can't like get in your face or get
Oh,
tangled or
nice.
anything.
Okay.
But it's still like it looks elegant.
Ooh, all right. I like this.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
nice.
Just had to know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you get sort of indirectly approached on this this cult thing from actually multiple sources. First off, you're hearing a lot of the citizenry of Night Market just generally complaining about it because it's honestly it's getting in the way. It is. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's just it. It's getting in the way. It's keeping things from flowing the way they normally do. And speaking of things flowing the way they normally do, the Hive is particularly annoyed by this because the Hive has learned to work with and around the Weeping Ladies people. And this cult thing is like screwing up their contacts. They can't do business like they want to. They're having to expend resources that have absolutely nothing to do with continuing to advance their own operations. And then the most indirect but the most obvious is if any of you are talking to any of the Weeping Ladies people, or for that matter, people that depend on the Weeping Lady for their sustenance and shelter. Yeah, I mean you're hearing all about it because sometimes they show up and like what used to be a Weeping Lady area is no longer available to them, and either they have to search for another one, or sometimes they just are get directly harassed by members of the cult. In fact, you have figured out a couple of some of the rumors are looking like they are in fact true. Sometimes people are just disappearing, and it's not happening widespread, but you're hearing enough of these stories where you believe that some people are just going missing.
Oh dear. Well, we can't have that now, can we?
Suppose not.
All
Yeah,
right,
I mean, I don't want to fuck with that. Well, I don't think they should be fucking with them.
I think I hate to say it, but I think the fuckery's headed our way, whether we like it or not.
So, well, as far as like, what can we do to like, I don't know, unfuck the fuckery or put up a fuckery barrier?
Put a knife. It's been particularly ususeful recently, I suppose.
Really,
indeed,
I
it
am
has.
so proud of you for doing that stabbing. Never been more proud of you than I am right now for the stabbing you did.
Thank you.
Yep.
Means a lot.
All right.
Do we want to
certainly
take a quick break and then maybe gather some information when we get back? Does that sound good?
Yes.
All right.
I when we get back, I would love to have a scene where Sharky returns and tells us what the fuck he's been doing.
You know what? Let's start with that when we get back. I like that idea.
Okay.
All right.
That works for me.
Okay.
All right, folks. So we will be back in a little bit. We're gonna throw an interview on, and then we shall return and see how things go. See you
Okay.
shortly. Welcome to the break. I have Trooper SJP with me today to chat about all manner of things. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am still breathing, which I think is the important thing to remember to do. On a daily
Yes.
basis, one hopes.
And in multiple times in a row.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that part, but I'll get it. I'll get it sooner or later. Something that we wanted to talk about a little bit today is we both have theater backgrounds, as it turns out, and I know you basically. We also both have writing backgrounds to a certain extent, and I actually wanted to find out, or not so much find out, but see kind of what your thoughts were on sort of intersections of RPGs with these various entertainment media, and just sort of where you might happen to see crossovers and how the one might inform the other.
So I have a super spicy take, though.
Oh, yes?
I do have a very spicy take. And my spicy take is this. From the very beginning, you would always have people, like you'd see, like, what is an RPG, right? They would always ask, like, what is Dungeons and Dragons? What is it? And they'd always say, oh, it's improvisational radio theater, right? They'd always somehow try to tell you what an RPG is by referencing film, books, these other media. And the thing is, it's not. And I don't mean this as and I mean this in the way, I've thought a lot about adaptations in different media. It's one of the things I do for a living. And I know that people will often say, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could take that big sprawling 80-hour RPG video game and make it a film? And I think, I don't know. A video game is really different from a film. It's 80 hours of content that you as a player have active participation in. Like there are these, like, it's not the same medium. And there are things that video games, and everyone's like, oh, there are no good video game movies, as if video games are somehow inferior in art form to film. But video games can do things that film can't. And when I think about RPGs, I think about the ways in which RPGs are a really special medium. They're not exactly books, because books can do all sorts of things that RPGs can't, and vice versa. They're not film. They're not exactly theater. It's like, there's that trend of getting lots of improv actors to do RPGs.
Yeah.
It's like, but improv and RPGs are not actually the same. Use improvisatory skills, but the function of an improv show is totally different than an RPG game where the players are the audience as well. It's a complicated thing. And I have thought long about what are the models we use when we are imagining how to put together an RPG. And are those models useful to us? And how can we really think about what it is that RPGs themselves do? And I was thinking about, for example, and this is like a weird thing, but in terms of writing and media and theater, I think for an ongoing RPG campaign, here's my people should maybe look less to film, which often has hero protagonist that is unitary with maybe some sidekicks, and that is particularly directed, like maybe that for like a one shot. And look a little bit more to daytime soap operas, actually, because daytime soap operas are about sort of long weaving stories, right? Where things sort of come through and come in and out in different kinds of ways. They're character focused, they're large ensembles. And there's a way in which the long scale soap opera certainly has plots and excitement and all that, but it is a bit more sympathetic to the kind of experience an RPG does as a story.
Yes.
So and I feel like because we don't necessarily respect soap operas as a media, as opposed to like our golden age of television where you want it to, I don't know. But there's a lot there that would be so interesting to think about in terms of thinking about RPGs.
I've just got to say, I think you've hit on the crux of why I think streaming your RPG campaign works as even an entertainment thing. It's because of the soap opera factor. You get attached to certain characters. It's an ensemble thing.
Yep.
And you have you have characters that can come and go even because as different players have to drop out or as their characters die and they take on new characters. It is a lot more like a soap opera. I definitely agree on that.
And the pacing is different, and so this is a thing I was thinking about in terms of, and this is fascinating thinking about streaming. People will say, well, and this is, I think, perhaps not the most productive. People say, oh, well, we're streaming it. It has to be like a TV show. And by that, I think they mean I don't know, Breaking Bad. They want it to be really intense, very tight, no waste. I was like, well, first off, that's actually not how RPGs work. RPGs don't really do that, and it's not scripted, so you can't do that. And I think that also, it's 4 hours. Like, your RPG show is anywhere between 2 to 4 hours of a stream, right? I mean, there's some that are 2, there's some that are up to 4, but the streams are long. So how do you sustain viewer interest over 4 hours, potentially 4 hours, let's say 3 as an average, when a TV show is a half hour to an hour? Well, you don't do it by being intense the entire time like you are intense in a film. There's a moment where sort of sitting back and just sitting around the fire, that kind of what some people will call downtime, becomes, which is so important to an RPG that the players really enjoy, becomes really important for the RPG stream to sort of manage the pacing of the intensity, because you can't, as an audience member, be in full intense mode the entire time. There's no way that's healthy or you can sustain it, right? So I think that understanding that the rhythm and the pacing of an RPG is just really different from all of these other media.
Yeah.
Allows you to embrace the things that RPGs do that no one else does. And that is the excitement for me, like, to think, not how can I make my RPG like a movie, but how can I make my RPG super RPG like? How can I really bring out all those things that make RPGs really special?
Yeah, I will say, I think to a certain extent, you can, the way you do things in an RPG or can be inspired by movies and TV shows. And you know, I know that we've all done this thing where it's like the camera pans in, you know, that kind of thing, or the perspective shifts. And I think that that's a thing where it's and I've seen some games where you try to emulate a thing, but it does become entirely a different thing.
And that's cool, right? Like, I think that's really neat.
Absolutely.
Because you know what's neat though, I was thinking about, and I was also like random as a theater person, like, why is it film and not theater? Why is it not when the curtain rises? Like, what's up with that? But all right, that's cool. We'll think about it.
Well, in some things, if you want to, and again, it's not quite, but I think it's closer to theater than it is to something like film or TV, because you're right there.
Yeah, and I actually also think that it's closer to theater than film or TV on a meta level, and that's when we're thinking about, for this moment, because there's been a lot of, you know, scandal and discussion in the world. And I think that when we're thinking about safety tools, it's important to remember that this is a lot more like theater than it is film or television. In film or television, if something is going badly, you can just stop, yell, cut, and nobody feels badly about that. But theater actors are trained from the time they're very young that the show must go on, that you just push through whatever is happening on stage. I mean, like, I cut my hand in the first scene of a play I was in and bled for the entire 2-hour show because I had no time to fix my hand. And I didn't just, like, I don't think that's healthy. But the point is that there's a particular kind of way in which people who are doing a live show often feel like they have to just pressure through. And streamed RPGs are live shows. And so we really have to think about safety tools. How can we help deal with bleed? How can we help deal with making sure that the people who are players in a stream show feel safe and feel like they can bring up concerns on a stream show with an audience without that being a problem for them? And I think that we have to recognize that we are similar to theater in that way, that we are doing live shows and that we do need to have a special kind of care for our players and GM in that environment.
Absolutely, it's really a case of where it's. I've had many a fractured bone and a bruised limb that will very much agree with that same experience, as it were. Well, not agree with the experience, but you know what I mean. We'll be able to testify that such is definitely the case. And that, I think that in many ways, the RPGs can be made to be better because you actually are trying to care about the people you are playing a game with. It is that kind of activity that you're trying to in a sense to embrace the people you are with instead of just use them as tools.
Right, because the GM is not a director. Just again, this is again why I think we have to be really careful not to sort of mix our metaphors over much.
Exactly.
We can take inspiration, but a film has a director who's like, "This is my vision." RPGs don't have directors. They have referees, game moderators, right? But they don't have directors, and so remembering that we're all in this together. That we are playing a game. We should be having fun, and right, and fun can be really intense. But this should be fun, and that we're all in it together is one of those things where, like, how can we embrace the specialness, right? Sort of be inspired by, and also maybe we could, if we want to be inspired by other media, be inspired by a lot more other media, not just film or television. But maybe be inspired, like, what would an RPG look like if it were inspired by poetry? What would an RPG look like if it were inspired by, I don't know, like, what about, like, dance? Like, what would an RPG look like if you're like, oh, I've been thinking about how people put together dance routines and choreography, and how might I use that kind of physical thing to inspire this game in some way? I don't know. Like let's broaden where we get our influences to make the game it's especially its own thing, and like really rich and cool. Like, that's exciting.
Absolutely. There is so much that can be done, and so much that is, as of yet, either untapped or little known. And I'm just very excited to see where just the whole idea of gamery goes in the future. Yeah. Absolutely.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us about this. I really appreciate it. If folks want to find you online, where should they go?
Ooh, you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch, and you can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter. I don't know why Twitch is here and Twitter's over there, but it is. It
is, in a spiritual sense, in those directions. And something.
I think it's because I feel like here's where, like, links are, and I was like, like, well, we're in Twitch right now, so like this is the website we're in, but then you'd have to go that way.
Yes, that's
I don't
right.
know why you have to.
We're inside the Twitch machine, and that's how we climb to the different parts. That's where the ladder to the link is. That's how we get there. Absolutely.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Take care, folks, and we will see you later. Greetings, greetings, humanity. Thank you for waiting on us. We have returned, and we are going to be doing things, I suspect.
In fact, while we were gone, we did some things.
We started to do some things, yeah.
We cleared some harm, and also Thistle has become haunted. So all right. So what we've got? Yeah, we got time. So what are you doing now that you've kind of got the idea that this cult's got to go?
Oh, I guess I should probably come back.
Yeah, did we? I think we agreed that this is the return of Sharky. So
okay.
So, quick question: are you returning to the lair over in what is it, Charter Hall, or are you returning to some place in Night Market?
I think it's probably safer initially if it'll probably be less of a shock if I do it in Night Market.
Okay.
Just because of who's with me.
Okay, fair point.
We have to be careful. It needs to be a little conspicuous.
Just a little bit.
So I think it's just going to be basically this thing where, wherever our operating place.
Because we've established that you've got at least one, probably multiple places that you hang out in Night Market so that people can find you.
So you're probably going to be hearing just basically this sounds of clanking and the sounds of like sort of it's like some kind of a something on wheels approaching. As just the sound of which keeps getting closer, along with the sound of footsteps. and until ultimately just sort of the door is going to just sort of open just a crack, and Sharky's head will pop in, and just sort of looking around. Hello. Anyone here?
Bloody hell, it's the professor.
Ah.
Salutations, Professor.
Now, I don't want anyone to panic, but I have someone with me.
Someone you trust, I hope.
Is this
Well,
another
they're
I
still
knew you
developing.
had
student of yours?
In a sense, in a manner of speaking. I have a lot to still teach them. I'm sure every now and then you do something and then you realize later that that there's a long-lasting then responsibility you have to
Sometimes
well, this shall
when I
make
go
an
to the
excellent
bars-
object lesson then. So you may recall that there was and he's still leaning in through the door. You may recall there was a moment when last we were together that there were a number of that there was a hull that I interacted with to cause a distraction.
Right, yeah, you fiddled with its bits or whatever.
Well, they've awoken.
You awoke the bits.
In a manner of speaking. In a manner. And he sort of you see him sort of turn his head and he's like, I'll explain later. And then he, as you hear some clanking behind him and he turns, I'll explain in a bit. And he sort of turns, no, it's, well, so I've, well, they have, they returned and we had we had a decent, a good sort of hashing out of things, I think, and they're assisting me now at this point. So I just didn't want you to be alarmed, as they're.
This is the least straightforward you've ever been, Sharky. I swear.
Would you like to
shrugs.
come in with your organism? Perhaps that would shed
That's
some light on the
actually,
topic.
I think that's the worst possible word you could have used for it.
Nope, it's the best word. This
And
and
he'll
that's what
just
we're
like,
talking about. It's the best
No,
word.
for goodness sake. And he'll throw the door open, and as he will step forward, you'll see behind him is this hull wheeling a very large box on a dolly. And he says, this is my friend Axel.
Sorry, out of character laughter. That's amazing.
Is Axel in the box or something, or?
No, this
I'm
is
kidding.
Axel.
I know-
He says,
I know
pointing
you've
to
made
the
it clear it's
hull.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Axel, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Are you saying something, Brian? Because we can't hear
Oh.
you.
Sorry, Axel raises a hand
Yeah.
and then puts
Yes.
it back down.
Sharky,
Good.
we're gonna be put on the map. You know how many people in Nighttown would pay for whole companionship? You're a genius.
Well,
Companionship?
no. I hadn't really thought about it in those terms, but there are actually a number of well, I do hate to tell you this, there are a number of folks already who have put work in that direction, as it turns out. But it's not hulls specifically, but when constructing automatons, there have been doing a certain amount of research on automatons recently. Actually, as it turns out, that's one of the things I have a thing for us. Yes, right. Yeah. Come on.
So is there a soul in there?
Who, an Axel?
Yeah. Is Axel,
Oh well, that's a little complicated. It's yes and no. It's rather that's more that there's a certain degree of electroplasmic energy and a copy of my soul. But aside from that, it's simply it's.
So this is another.
They're a person. They're their own person.
This is another one of you?
It's possible to copy a soul?
It turns out probably yes. That was not something that has been effectively done up until this point. Well, you have echoes, right? From time to time, you can have electroplasmic echoes that are not, in fact, full manifestations of actual spirits. And so, yes, it's possible. It's just not, I've never quite seen it done in this way, or with someone still living. So that's...
Is it possible to make a copy of a soul that's not your own?
Well, yes, usually it's, as far as that, I mean, I don't think I could reproduce this during my lifetime, but it's theoretically it's possible. The
wheels are turning.
But, no, this is just sometimes you have just electroplasmic echoes will show up instead of an actual ghost, and so that's rather what I was looking into. But that's rather the research, yes. And they sort of turns so Axel will set the box down, this crate down, and it's a little bit about the height of a person. And say, right, now, this, he says, just sort of tapping the side of the box, as he looks at the Discord for a moment and should not. He says, now, this is the project that we were speaking of. This is what I refer to as the Haven suit. It's objective, and he's starting to undo the kind of the clasps, or whatever, they're trying to pull the pins basically so that the front of it's going to fall down in a moment. This is a place for a ghost to take haven in, essentially. So he starts pulling them. The idea is it is supposed to help calm them. It's supposed to be a good experience for them. Helps keep them from deteriorating whilst they're in the suit.
Right.
Bit of a sort of a calmness. And he'll respite, one might call it. And the front of the crate falls open, and you see this. It's about the size of a person. It's not big. Because what he did was he made this thing that it's about on the order of like a tailor's form, right? And it has it's a lot of clockwork and but it's a lot of clockwork and metal in it, but it's also it has other things, probably like wood or other, just whatever was available, to make this is a bipedal person looking thing, and it's not hugely bulky. You could put clothes on it if you wanted to, and the face is, I think. It's one of those things where there's not really there is not a face on it per se, but I imagine there's this I don't know if it's something where it's like there's this kind of a sort of a thing. Yeah, I have it. think this container. It looks like on the front of the face is what looks like a container full of like sand or something similar. It's actually a bunch of little metal shavings. And so this is the vessel, and it is to, and we just need to key it for the one we intend to inhabit it, if they wish to. They'll be able to come and go from it as they please, but once they're keyed in, they will be the only one capable of utilizing it.
So you think it'll work?
Most likely. I've been consulting with a number of people. Some no longer on this mortal coil. Seems there are rather a lot of ghosts hanging around lately that I seem to be engaging with a bit more now. And I did get some advice. Nothing is certain, but my hope is that it will bring some degree of solace. That's one thing that I have. I do have one other thing, he says. But we need not go into it right now. And he takes he's got a bundle that sort of in his kit that looks like about roughly the shape of a book.
I mean, I admit I'm a bit curious about that too. I mean,
Like we've come across some very important, very dangerous books before. Perhaps we should know what this book is.
Ah, yes. And he sets it down, and it's going to have some degree of this is sort of it's wrapped in kind of a shroud, as it were. And he opens it, and it's this book. It's got kind of a it looks like a big thick diary almost, because it's got a kind of a lock on it, kind of a mechanism on it.
mm-hmm.
That doesn't use a key. It's just more of you just press the right thing. And looks very old. And he says, I spoke with some friends and was able to get a hold of this. This is the witness. This the witness to the travails of the shrouded ones.
Is it like a Bible kind of thing, or
Not exactly. It's more of, one might say, an account. An account of things that happened quite some time ago. As there was someone who studied the Shrouded Queen and those who followed her. And
was this a historian's account of events of bygone days, or was this an eyewitness account of someone who was there?
Assembled testimonies of an eyewitness. A historian assembled it, of course. But whoever originally spoke these words was there. And it has a certain number of things in it, a number of fascinating formulae that might be of help, and information about them, about their strategies, at least at the time. Things I think that will benefit us to know. I must apologize. I am sorry I dashed off in the manner that I did. I had to think.
I'm not sorry. Because you need to do what you need to do. And
Well, I realized to be perfectly frank about this, after seeing what had happened to Connie, I could not face that happening again. He says, and he's looking at Grift as he says this. But that is my problem. And I should always give the benefit of the doubt. With an understanding that there are terrible things in this world, but they are terrible things that others are capable of handling. They are. It is not insurmountable. And I'm sorry I did you the disservice of thinking that it might be that.
No, look, Professor, I'm sorry if I flipped out on you before. You have been greater help than anyone in this. And frankly, I trust you. I don't trust many. And maybe that's stupid of me. Maybe you're just too honest, and that's just as dangerous for both of us. But I trust you, and I appreciate you, and frankly, I don't mind you for fucking off. You got trauma and shit, and I'm not gonna try and tell you that that's not all. That's something you should be sorry for.
I was having trouble with trust myself. I've always I do trust you all, I have, and it's just I needed to. But I needed to have an honest conversation with myself and, well, with a friend. He says, kind of looking up at Axel.
I think you said yourself already.
Fair enough. But to make me understand that is, in fact, my position, and that I should be more trusting that those who I count among my friends are fully capable of dealing with these horrors.
well, Sharky, I trusted you to come back. So that's that.
So,
It's very good to have you back, and your new friend too.
thank you. I'm glad you're all well. I heard that there was a bit of an upset with the recent Advent Day that happened just a little
Just
bit.
a small
few weeks ago.
upset.
Just a wee incident.
Oh, the church in Dunslow? Never been.
Yeah. Yes, heard about that.
Really, Professor, do you think any of us would voluntarily go to a church?
Worry I might catch flames when I walk in the door.
Please, I revel in sin. Why would I want a church?
Well, probably just an idle rumor then.
Yes.
Yeah,
I feel like this is. Oh, go for it.
I mean, we kid, but I did kill a Perceptor.
Yeah, it's just a small couple.
I think he was a demon.
I'm proud of him. For
Like 80-20 demon.
Well, from what I understand, that is their objective. So if you killed someone in the church as high as that, then that's most likely what you're going to get.
Thistle came to my rescue. It was very daring.
Ah! And he will if
That's fine.
If Thistle permits it, he'll just sort of do the friendly shoulder
Yeah,
slap
it was
thing.
it was terrible in there, but I couldn't leave people behind. Also, that damn preceptor asked me to lock you in jail. No, that's not happening.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, and they were trying to make hollows, and I saved that lady. What happened to her?
Oh yeah, we should probably figure that out. What did happen to her? You could easily have kept track of her. So
I think I let her go and told her to tell people that the church was trying to make hollows. Like,
yeah, okay.
literally just wanted to hurt their reputation more, and sort of get the word out that like the people who showed up, like that were causing the chaos or whatever, were actually helping.
Okay, yeah, that's
without necessarily spreading anything about our names or anything.
Right. No detailed descriptions, but definitely the
yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably part of our rep increasing and
Absolutely. Yeah, that was at least one point of that rep.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. In fact, yes, she was from Dunslow. So yeah, she's helping spread the word around there for sure.
I feel like
Hopefully.
we collectively tell the professor what happened.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
A lot happened.
In game that takes a while. But
And Greg was there too. Where did Greg go? It
What
feels
happened
like
to
he
Greg?
left as soon as the professor arrived.
Did he not say he was going to see his family?
he did
Oh.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Family?
family. Yeah, and also he was running from a bookie or something like that.
Ah.
I just assumed his family was goats, and they're usually with him.
He's got a wife he complains about because of all the bookie work. Working with bookies.
Right.
That's different, Tales always time, songs always rhyme,
You'd think he'd smell better if he's got a wife.
Does this
Well,
make Greg the beauty or the beast?
Greg hangs out with goats and at tracks. So you tell me what you think.
I mean, his wife sells eels, I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
Like fishmonger
Yeah,
type stuff,
she-
basically.
Yeah, so
So she doesn't smell great either.
Yeah.
Okay, if they hang around Weaver for long enough, Weaver has soap.
Fair enough.
You'd have to gamble with him to make him do it.
Yeah.
All right, so
He-
this was
actually,
one of
the
their.
thing is,
36, 36.
Greg probably does regularly use soap because he has to be able to pick people up
True.
in the
Oh,
rich
true.
neighborhoods. So,
Soap or too much fragrance.
yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or Greg smells like Axe body spray, like Teenage
oh,
Boy Locker
God.
Room.
I imagine he just smells like a cigar room, but like, just all the leather.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, not in a bad way. I agree. I think that works.
Classy. That's nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got very sidetracked.
He needs to smell like the type of person who would wear that kind of uniform.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that works.
Professor, is the hole ready? Could we take it to Connie tonight?
Yes, absolutely. And if she consents, then we just need to set it for her, and that'll be it. And she'll be able to come and go from it as she pleases. And hopefully it will provide her some degree of solace while she's inhabiting it.
Then, yeah, I mean, let's do it.
Okay, do we want to cut to you? Well, how are you going to do that? Are you going to? I guess you kind of have to go where she is. She doesn't really.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think that's kind of your only option. All right. So obviously, the professor and Grift are there. Are the other two of you following along as well?
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I will.
I think Axel's
walk
probably
around.
also there because they can't get rid of him.
You have found that if you tell Axel to not follow you, that lasts a while. Eventually, Axel will try to find you again if you don't return. But
it's fair.
So if you have so in this particular case, yeah, if you don't want Axel to come with you, Axel will not.
I don't know if it really matters, but
yeah, your call. But
we don't want to scare her too much. Then probably.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe showing up with a hole in general is maybe not the best plan. All right. Okay. So in that case, yeah, you're. She is in. She's in the area of night market that she's often found in, which does tend to be during business hours, one of the more crowded areas. But even when the shops and stalls are closed, there's a fair amount of traffic about. So do you how do you transport the suit? Is it still in the box or
Yeah, I think that well, I'm torn, right? Because it's possible we might be able to well, no, let's not get ridiculous.
Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, you just tell it to go where you want it to go. That's a little too convenient.
Oh yeah, that doesn't.
So it probably will still need to be in the box, I imagine, and we just sort of wheel it over. Unless anyone else has a better idea.
Not really.
Thistle can carry it.
Yeah, I mean, I can carry.
Oh well, that's true.
Yeah, so I wander around the streets for a while. I think I kind of just I get to like a sort of central location where she is sometimes, and I just tell everyone to wait there, and that I'll find her.
Yeah, and eventually you do. It takes a little while, but you know her. I mean,
usual haunts.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. So yeah, you know where to find her, or at least the range.
Yeah.
So yeah, you spot her. And
Connie, hey.
Yes.
I'm glad I found you. So, the professor Sharky, he came up with brilliant invention. We've got something for you. You'll be able to walk around again, touch stuff.
Oh. Lead the way.
All right, good. Yeah. I feel like I'm like a little bit unnerved by her tone, but I am putting it aside, and I lead her to the crew. Um,
Has anybody talked to her about the reconciled yet?
Not yet.
Nope.
Okay, just checking. I know that I can't because I don't know about it, but
Yeah, you weren't there. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh yeah, the reconciled thing would also be a good option, but you've already put all this work into this.
Well,
This
no, it's not. It's not an either or.
yeah, they are not mutually exclusive.
I
That's
mean,
an excellent
maybe
point.
we want to fix her with the reconcile stuff before we put her in the body, and she goes on a run amok with the body.
Maybe.
So, Grift is, as we have established, not affected by Connie. I think this is the first time the other three of you have seen her as a ghost. Am I right?
Yep, well, she's not manifested
Probably.
that I remember.
Okay. So, given your connection with her, it's not, you are not going to be, you're not going to have to resist this. But there is definitely a sense that things could turn. And that feeling wanes just a little bit when she sees the three of you, though. And she doesn't smile, but she stops glaring.
Here they are, your old friends, and yeah, everyone. Um, say hi to Connie.
Hey, Connie, how's it going?
Well, I'm dead, Thistle.
Well, I mean, we are aware, and I'm sorry, and we're just trying to look. You always knew I wasn't good at this talking shit.
Yeah, she nods as if remembering something suddenly.
Hi, Connie. I'm sorry.
I heard you thought I failed.
Weaver just looks at her shoes, like looks back up. I was wrong. And I've learned that.
Not as wrong as some. They had a choice. And she looks to the professor, and then at the box, and then at the professor.
Good evening, my dear. It's good to see you. Has Griff been talking to you about this?
They mentioned something.
Would you like to see it?
Depends on what it is.
I've been working on a frame that, if you wish, you may inhabit. It is set so that you may come and go from it as you please. And but if you don't want it, you need not. We need not bring it up again.
It's kind of you to think of me.
To be perfectly frank, it's been hard to stop. You'd rather stick with one. Would you like to see?
She moves a little closer.
He will go ahead and he will pull off the front of the box, so she can see see this thing. It's also I would say it's not actually terribly heavy. It's not light, but it wasn't. But it's not. He made it out of as much, to a certain extent, lightweight materials as he could. This is also, I should point out, this is not a battle machine. Hopefully that was expressed. It does not have any inherent weapons.
No,
but it has. Yeah, he did the most work with the hands, probably.
She looks at it and gets closer, and passes her hand through it a couple of times.
Be careful when you come to the. Be careful when hitting the center of the chest. You may feel a bit of a pulling. That's that's the internal vessel. What the hell did we call that?
Spirit core.
Yeah,
the
spirit core.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's where the adapted spirit core is.
I've seen things like this, but they were less elegant. She puts her hand out a second time, and just like smoke being sucked into a draft from an open door, disappears into it.
You're starting to make little adjustments as it's happening just to make sure everything's okay.
And it remains still for several seconds. And then the face slowly begins to look like Connie's. And then one of the hands raises up to the face. I can feel and she places her hand on the the side, one of the sides of the box. It's different than I remember. And then she closes her hand around one of the boards and then keeps closing, and you hear cracking. And then there's
this little step, very casually in front of Weaver, just.
And then there's a loud wrenching sound, and she pulls part of it off. And she says,
"That you're better body than you had before, right?"
"Yes, this will do nicely. All I have to do is," and then it goes completely still. And Grift, from behind you, you hear Connie's voice. "It doesn't like me."
What do you mean it doesn't like you?
And she's outside of it and standing behind you now.
I turn around.
I think we're philosophically incompatible.
What does that mean? I didn't think that thing had a philosophy. It's an empty chunk of metal without you in it.
No, but it was made by one of the kindest people I've ever met.
You're one of the kindest people I ever met, Connie.
Oh, not these nights. I think I'm farther down on the list.
Oh, I mean, was it? Is it the fucking cult? Is that it?
Among others, but they're definitely at the top.
Gonna whisper at Grift. Did you tell her about the reconciled? Did you say it
Shit.
already?
That's right. Fuck. Um, we also we met some ghosts who are chill, I'd say. Uh, like not like cold, like I mean they were cold, they were also that, but like they were um they were like normal. They weren't like trying to kill anyone. I think they said they knew how to help. Maybe we could try taking there.
If I may,
Hmm.
those ghosts were more present. They were more realized. They had more control of themselves and their actions.
No.
Right, yeah.
I think that's why the new body doesn't like me. It's difficult to concentrate in there.
Well,
Frankly,
you-
it's difficult to concentrate out here.
if you would like, we can introduce you to the reconciled.
Hmm.
We we helped them significantly recently, and they have reason to be kind to us. So, if you would like to be in more control,
Her her eyes glow with a pearlescent flame, and she says, "Control, yes. The only control I need is the ability to hold on to someone's throat long enough."
Look, Connie, we're gonna take care of those people, all right? Don't worry about them. We just we'll take care of it.
She nods.
I turn back to Sharky and just say, I, "What? What do you think? I mean, is this? I, why would it reject her? Is this? She just too fucking mad?"
No. She simply has made a choice. And I think that does not. Sharky, I think, probably realizes that Connie can probably still hear them.
It's definitely possible, yes.
Given the amount of work he's done with audio and the ghost field. So
Oh gosh, that's a fair
like,
point. Yeah.
So that's why he's part of the reason he's
Okay.
responding the way he is, as he's very much trying to put up a very, very, very calm front here. And he says, she simply made a choice. Now, there is business to be dealt with, and perhaps after that business is dealt with, then she will have more options. But it would be entirely up to her, he says. And he just sort of smiles in her direction.
So if we take care of those cult fuckers, should we able to? Should we better? Should we back to Connie again?
We are always evolving, even when we're alive. So it's merely a
Impressive.
question of what choice she wishes to make then. That's all.
Connie floats into the midst of the four of you. And she says, "For what it's worth, being here with you has stirred memories I thought were lost to me. And I will take what you said under advisement. But it's not that I don't have choices. It's just that the ones I do have are more extreme."
Well, Connie, how about for right now, until we can get this all sorted out, we do it just like we did in life. Let's just leave all the killing to me. It's fucked up to say, but it's healthier for me than it is for you.
Yeah, this was tough. We can take it.
You have no idea what it takes to keep an even keel. And I hope you never find out. But I'm finding that it's more difficult now. That certain thoughts have come to me. I'm going to have to leave because I don't want to hurt any of you. We'll meet again.
Bye, Connie.
And she moves faster than usual. And one of the electroplasmic lamps explodes as she goes through it.
Question for DM: how long
Mhm.
ago did Connie die?
Oh, we never established that. I got the sense it wasn't all that long ago, though.
I feel like there was like a couple months.
Yeah, I feel like it was
Max.
not too long. Yeah.
Okay, and out of character, how fast do ghosts deteriorate? Like-
There's it's
all on the
diff-
ghost.
yeah, it is. It's different for different ghosts. So even the so-called experts can't really predict how long an individual ghost will last.
I feel like most would have deteriorated more than her by now, but I think
Yeah.
the fact that Grift has been coming here and talking with her has kept her a little bit more sentient for
That
longer.
definitely helps. And she's also got a very, very specific revenge that she wants to exact. So
Does Grift know what that is?
by now, yeah, I think Griff does. Because, well, yeah, Griff brought it up. It's the cultists.
Okay. Okay. So Weaver to the group, as we smash cut back to now we're back in the hideout,
Okay.
where Connie is not.
Right, right.
And would just
that we
ask,
know of.
although can't we all see into the ghost field?
Oh,
So
yeah,
she were
yeah.
there.
If you, yeah. Unless she has a way to make herself invisible, which given what Connie was like when she was alive, is not out of the question. But far as you know,
Yeah. So Weaver's just going to like take a deep breath and go, I've never met a ghost with such personality. But then again, I have not met any ghosts who could talk to me. Connie seemed, well, to put it bluntly, very intent on murder.
She's not herself. It's getting to her. It's been too long. But if we can just take care of the cult, it'll be fine. She'll get past it. We'll be able to help her again.
Weaver nods, and forgive me for saying, Professor, but your machine, as miraculous as it is, I don't know if I want Connie in there right now. It seems like
She's incompatible with it at the moment, it seems.
yes. Perhaps if she were more herself, turning back to Grift, if she were in better control of herself, she would be a better fit.
Right, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's something she wanted. Generally, when someone says they'll take it under advisement, they generally mean they think you're talking excrement and won't care for it.
She has to want it, that's the thing. I built this as a vessel of peace, and it seems that is not her at the moment, unfortunately.
Yes. Now, I must admit to some ignorance here. I don't know much about how ghosts work. If she does what she's intending to do and commits this murder, will that help her? Or will that simply make her worse?
I think it has to, right? I mean, it's all she can
know.
think about right now. Once it's gone, then she won't have to think about it anymore.
But then what will she think about? What drives her if her revenge is gone?
I don't know, Weaver.
I'm sorry.
We don't have a choice. I don't know what else to do.
I'm not a ghostologist, but when has something that someone's obsessed over like that, when they've finally committed to it and done it, really ever been helpful for them? I said what I said for a reason. It is healthier for me to go do this murder than it would be for her. Fucked up though it sounds.
And let's go do the fucking murder.
I mean, I
get hurt, right? I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Unfortunately, I need a target. Because like I could start a wholesale murder, get a bunch of Molotov cocktails and a bunch of wrought iron, and just go to town. And you know what? That might even be therapeutic, but it would take a lot of time.
At least we do have a target. We know it's the cult.
There are a few names, potentially, that one might look into. And I'm pretty sure that the professor was around to hear, to hear this, although Jim is having a little trouble being sure that he actually heard what he thought he heard.
Okay.
So I believe at some point, I think I even wrote this down. I did. The Dimmer sisters, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, well, the professor is going to be just sort of like, we know a few potential targets. Should it be necessary to snuff them out? They need to be, I think, if we wish to do this for Connie's sake, they need to be removed in one way or another. but they are because that is the thing. That is the thing. You see, the trouble with the degrading identity that happens. Well, after your target is gone, if you're still after someone, the target can be shifted. So the faster this is dealt with, the better. So we know of the there are a couple of points of potential contact for this, of understanding. As far as those who are involved, we have all, I think, heard of the Dimmer sisters. They are the more public face. More private one is one whom I suspect might head this cult. Maybe. Or at least she certainly has a great deal of influence with them, if she does not head them. And as he's looking over, her name is Melista. And I could tell you where she lived at one time back when she was living with her parents. I know where her parents live, if that means anything.
I
can
mean,
work with
sure, let's
that.
go after her parents.
We might find they don't entirely approve of her activities.
Then we can ask them where she is.
Right. Yes.
No, sorry.
We-
Weaver, you're the
fine.
spotter
It's
here.
fine.
You pull on your threads.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we run a tax service. With names of law-abiding parents, I can find
yes.
names, dates, social security numbers, home address, work address.
Fair point.
We can find her.
You know, I haven't even done my own taxes, since we started this whole thing. So
There are taxes here.
This is off the books, remember?
I just
Yeah.
thought they liked scribbling on papers.
It
No,
is
I mean, I
rather
have a-
therapeutic, just listening to the noise that a pen makes on paper.
I mean, I technically have a job. I just only go there sometimes.
You're suggesting that to lure in our targets, perhaps we should, in fact, be bookkeepers.
I might actually have to wear that black tie because, it'll be fine.
I think
You
I'll dress
would
up
look
nice.
fabulous in a black tie. Just saying.
If you say so, Weaver.
Weaver is convinced. This'll cleans up nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Weaver had one thing. And kind of out of character. We still know. Was it Asperia was our whisper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she still like us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you paid her, and more to the point, you didn't. At no point were you dishonest with her. So yeah, she thinks you're great.
Okay. I think we'll just kind of gloss over it, but Weaver might go ask Asperia at some point just
Okay.
a little bit more about what ghosts are like,
That makes sense. Yeah.
and just
Okay.
how long, like once you get the murderous rage, how long does that last? If a ghost gets the revenge, what happens? Like,
Sure.
Maybe not mentioning Connie, but just like,
Yeah.
what does a ghost do?
Yeah. Just get more of a general idea. I gotcha. Okay.
That's not really a mechanical thing, but just so Weaver's better
Yeah.
informed.
Well, in that case, it's getting around the time we usually wrap up. So if you want to, I don't know if anybody has anything else to do, like along those lines, that's fine. But I figure what we can do is between now and then, I can give you some of the information that you would have found out, maybe even on Discord. And then, like anything we haven't covered, we can start off the next session with, and then do the engagement roll after that. But we can have like a fairly compressed gather knowledge part of it, partly because most of the knowledge you're looking for is not going to be difficult for the four of you to find in various ways. Because, as you pointed out, you still got Asperia to talk to. The professor has a book with a lot of really good information in it. And both Grift and Thistle can handle like literally just speaking to people on the streets. So, I mean, all of that we can wrap up pretty well, and I can just kind of give you the high points if that's how you want to do it.
Sounds good.
Does anyone have anything else you want to do before we wrap up, though? Yes.
I have one thing.
Okay.
It's just towards the end of that conversation, as things are starting to break up a bit. The professor will quietly head over to Axel and just sort of say, "Murder is wrong. We don't want to murder if we can possibly avoid it. If we don't have to. I mean, you understand?"
Axel holds up a hand.
Excellent. Good.
Puts it back down.
Good boy.
Oh, it's brilliant. I missed the professor.
Looking forward to next session. That's going to be good.
That's all I had.
Okay. I'm good.
We good?
Yep.
All right. Excellent. So, yes, this is going to be fun. So we might be wrapping these things up next time then, possibly. Yeah,
That is the plan for next session to be the final one, which is too bad because I'm going to miss this game. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how this last score shakes out.
Excellent. Awesome. So next week, potentially the finale. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros then. Feel free, again, tell folks where they can find you, plug anything you like, and give any final thoughts about this session, favorite moments, throw love around, whatever you want to do. And we will start with our GM, Brian.
Hello, I'm Brian. You can find me as Vaclam on mostly Blue Sky these days, and a couple of other places. I loved this one. One of the reasons I liked it is like when you guys just do a whole bunch of role playing, it's real easy for me. I just get to hang out and watch you do cool role playing. I like the way that the story's shaping up. I like the relationships between all of you and the NPCs that have come in. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like I said, seeing what happens next time.
Awesome. Excellent. And now we will head over to Hollow.
Hey, I'm Hollow. You can find me on Blue Sky mostly at Hollow Invective. I'm technically still on Twitter, but yeah. You can find me here also Sundays for Last for the Angry Void. Once again, playing a completely different character who's not out for murder.
Almost never mentions murder.
Only tangentially, like I live with a murderer in that game.
That's true.
I basically live with a thistle in that game.
It's true. Yeah. Jackson, I think, is out more for a reckoning. As far as settling of accounts.
This was very small time, wants to have good meals, hang out with people, do a couple quick murders, slap some things. Like, Jackson's out for, he's a visionary.
Monorail. Excellent, excellent. And now we'll head over to Noctua.
Hi, y'all. I'm Noctua. I have been Weaver, your spider.
I'm not in anything else. We actually wrapped our Hearts of Camelot, and so I just vaguely exist. You can catch me over at Blue Sky at Noctua Magna, and that's all I got for now.
Yay! Awesome, awesome. And finally, over to Speedy.
Hello, I am Speedy. I've been Grift. You can find me everywhere as Not So Speedruns. I don't have anything else to plug right now, but go find a local protest near you and join it. Free Palestine.
Yes.
And fuck the police.
Well said. Well said. And me, I'm Jim. I was just delighted tonight to A, bring back the professor, and B, have a robot friend. That's wonderful. Very much looking forward to seeing how things happen next week. I am Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, YouTube, and most social media platforms. Wherever I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below here on Twitch, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Sunday afternoon, we have the game I'm running, Alas for the Angry Void. That is the Gothic sci-fi reskinning that I've done to Alas for the Awful Sea. So it's a PBTA game. So instead of being about sadness on the sea, it's about sadness in space. It is, they really got to get off that planet. They're really trying. They're really trying. We were not able to play last week, unfortunately, due to real life stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to play this weekend. Just very much looking forward to seeing how they reckon with things. And then of course, 1 week from today, we have what is looking like it's going to be the finale of Blades in the Dark. And so we shall see this all come to fruition and see us actually behaving like the black tie bookkeepers. And so I'm very, very interested to see how that goes. So very much looking forward to it. When we hit the end card, we're going to go and say hi to somebody. There are a couple of folks still streaming that we could go and say hi to. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we'll catch you next time. Farewell.